10 armed killers, 0 bullets, 1 tiny target. Witness the moment the smallest mother became their biggest nightmare.
Welcome to Vital Life Stories. Today, we explore an incredible journey where a mother's love battles against a ruthless criminal syndicate. In the heart of a dark city, a ruthless gang ruled the streets, spreading fear and violence among the innocent citizens. They were a symbol of absolute terror, heavily armed and operating in the shadows, leaving destruction wherever they decided to go. Contrasting this darkness was a single mother, living quietly in a small apartment, dedicating her entire existence to her young child. She possessed no physical strength and held no weapons, representing the ultimate vulnerability in a society dominated by brutal criminal forces. Her days were filled with simple joys, painting a picture of profound innocence that stood against the harsh reality outside. But fate had a cruel twist waiting, as the gang's sinister activities unexpectedly crashed into her fragile and peaceful little world. One fateful evening, the criminals targeted her neighborhood, seeking something valuable and showing absolutely no mercy to anyone in their path. They cornered her precious child, using intimidation and brute force to establish dominance, unaware of the sleeping giant they just awoke. At that exact moment, a profound transformation occurred within the mother, replacing her initial panic with a cold, calculated survival instinct. She realized that begging would not save them. She needed to fight back, using the only tools she truly had available. Instead of firearms, she armed herself with an invisible but overwhelming weapon, a boundless love that completely eradicated her mortal fear. This fierce, maternal love became her ultimate driving force, pushing her to transcend every normal human limitation to protect her baby. Her second weapon was pure intelligence. In a deadly environment filled with traps, her sharp mind became her greatest tactical advantage. She quickly analyzed the gang's movements, recognizing their arrogant, predictable patterns, and began formulating a brilliant plan to outsmart them all. Using the narrow apartment hallways, she created clever diversions, turning the familiar domestic environment into a confusing maze for the intruders. When heavily armed men kicked down doors, they found only empty rooms and misleading shadows, wasting their energy on phantom targets. She moved silently through the ventilation shafts, clutching her child tightly, using the building's hidden architecture to evade the violent search. Every step was calculated with extreme precision, as one single mistake would mean certain death for both her and her child. The gang leader grew increasingly frustrated, unable to comprehend how a seemingly defenseless woman was completely outmaneuvering his highly trained thugs. He ordered his men to tear the building apart, unleashing a wave of destruction that echoed loudly through the dark corridors. Meanwhile, the mother reached the basement, a dark and complex labyrinth of pipes and machinery that perfectly suited her tactical needs. She intentionally triggered a minor electrical short, plunging the entire lower level into absolute darkness to neutralize their visual weapon advantage. Blind and panicked, the criminals began firing wildly into the void, effectively wasting their ammunition while revealing their exact physical positions. She used the loud noises of the building's ancient heating system to mask her footsteps, slipping past the guards completely unnoticed. Her intelligence shone brightly as she locked heavy steel doors behind her, trapping several gang members in isolated, inescapable storage rooms. The sheer contrast was breathtaking. A solitary figure using pure wit to dismantle a massive organization built entirely on brute force. She found a makeshift weapon, a heavy metal pipe, not for fighting, but to wedge against the final exit door's mechanism. As the remaining thugs closed in, she created a chemical reaction using simple cleaning supplies, releasing a thick, choking smoke screen. The toxic cloud disoriented the attackers, causing them to cough violently and lose all sense of direction in the cramped space. Through the blinding smoke, she guided her child with a steady hand, her heart pounding, but her mind remaining absolutely clear. They reached the underground parking garage, a vast concrete expanse, where the final confrontation with the ruthless gang leader seemed inevitable. He stood blocking the only exit, holding a loaded weapon, his face twisted in a mixture of deep anger and disbelief. This was the ultimate symbolic standoff, the heavily armed embodiment of societal darkness, facing the unarmed, glowing beacon of maternal love. He mocked her vulnerability, pointing his gun and demanding surrender, fully expecting her to finally break down and beg for mercy. But she did not cower. She stood tall, her eyes burning with an intense fire that made the hardened criminal hesitate. In that brief moment of hesitation, her brilliant mind calculated the perfect angle, noticing a heavy suspended light fixture directly above. With a swift, decisive motion, she threw a heavy wrench she had hidden, striking the rusted chain holding the massive light. The fixture crashed down violently, missing the leader but shattering into a million pieces, plunging the exit ramp into total darkness. The sudden noise and darkness startled him, causing him to drop his weapon as he instinctively covered his face in panic. Without wasting a single second, the mother sprinted forward, grabbing the discarded gun and kicking it far away into the shadows. She pushed her child through the exit door, turning back one last time to look at the defeated symbol of terror. She had won. Not by matching his ruthless violence, but by utilizing a superior combination of emotional strength and tactical brilliance. They emerged into the cold night air, the distant sound of approaching police sirens signaling the definitive end of their nightmare. The authorities arrived in massive numbers, storming the building and arresting the trapped, disoriented gang members one by one, without resistance. Paramedics wrapped a warm blanket around the mother and child, marveling at how they survived such a deadly, impossible gang encounter. The police captain listened to her incredible story, absolutely astounded by the strategic genius displayed by this seemingly ordinary civilian woman. He realized that true power does not always come from a loaded barrel, but often stems from a desperate, loving heart. This extraordinary night proved a profound human philosophy. Love can create miraculous feats that completely defy all conventional limits of humanity. A mother's devotion transformed a quiet, unassuming woman into a formidable warrior, capable of bringing down an entire criminal empire single-handedly. The gang, once feared by the entire city, was now a pathetic joke, dismantled by the sheer willpower of one mother. News of her incredible bravery spread rapidly across the city, inspiring countless others to stand up against fear and systemic oppression. She became a shining symbol of hope, proving that even the most vulnerable individuals possess an incredible, untapped reservoir of strength. Her child, though shaken, looked up at her with eyes full of absolute admiration, knowing they were protected by a superhero. The traumatic experience left scars, but it also forged an unbreakable bond between them, cemented by the ultimate test of survival. They moved to a new, safer neighborhood, leaving the dark shadows of the past behind to start a bright new chapter. Yet the powerful lesson remained etched in their souls forever. Violence is ultimately weak when confronted by a mother's fierce dedication. Society often measures strength by physical capability or wealth, completely ignoring the immense, transformative power hidden within deep human emotional connections. This story serves as a timeless reminder that when pushed to the absolute edge, the human spirit can achieve impossible victories. We must never underestimate the quiet ones, for they often harbor a fierce determination that can easily outshine the loudest threats. The mother returned to her peaceful life, but she walked with a new confidence, knowing she could conquer any future storm. Her journey from a terrified victim to a triumphant protector stands as a monumental testament to the enduring power of motherhood. Every challenge we face in life can be overcome if we anchor ourselves deeply in the boundless love we hold inside. The criminal system fell because it relied on fear, a fragile emotion, easily shattered by the unyielding courage of true love. Let this epic tale inspire you to find your own inner warrior ready to protect whatever you hold most precious today. Thank you for joining us on this emotional journey, exploring the incredible depths of human resilience and the magic of love. This has been Vital Life Stories. Remember to cherish your loved ones, stay strong, and we will see you next time.